Good morning, my friends. I'm Lama Jigme Gyatso, and this is Enlightened Fitness, where first we're going to use high-intensity bodyweight interval training to cultivate the body of a tantric sex god, and then we're going to use guided meditation to help cultivate both the heart and the mind of a Buddha. Now, I don't care how long you work out, if you don't eat right, you're not going to have better health or increased beauty. That's why I'm a big fan of the low-fat, whole-food, plant-based diet. Probably the simplest diet within that category that allows you to get probably the quickest results, arguably, is the 80-10-10 diet. And there are many ways to look at it. There's a great book you can get on the website. I can give it away for free, but I'm not the publisher. I can't do that. I can only read to you from it and show you where you can order it. So there you go. Because the author wants to get paid, he has a family to support, you know the deal. So here's the deal. The easiest way to think about the 80-10-10 diet is this. All day long, you eat all the whole, fresh, ripe, raw, organic fruit that you want. For dinner, you have an ginormous salad. It's just that simple. Or to make it even simpler, if you're as thick and slow as myself, it's kind of like this. Eat 20 to 30 bananas a day. I prefer drinking them myself, but consume 20 to 30 bananas a day. For dinner, have a beautiful, simple salad. And if you're still hungry after that, which is really unlikely, have some more fruit. People around the world have had great results. If that's too radical, then there are a bunch of books on the website that you can get your hands on for a more conventional, low-fat, whole-food, plant-based diet. Whether you want something quick, or whether you want this quick road or the slow road to greater beauty and health, this is the way to go. As a lazy man, I really like the 80-10-10 diet because it's just so simple. Fruit, vegetables, done. How cool is that? You want a body like a gorilla? Then eat like a gorilla. You want a body like a gazelle? Then eat like a gazelle. Kind of simple. So I'm going to read you just a short little excerpt from this wonderful book that you can get on the website. And this passage is about the lycopene myth. Applying heat to foods provides no nutritional benefit and is detrimental to the person ingesting the cooked food. A few examples exist whereby heating food, certain nutrients are more easily released and more bioavailable to our cells. The lycopene in tomatoes and the iron and beta-carotene in vegetables are often cited examples. However, taking this viewpoint ignores the fact that hundreds of thousands of identified and not yet identified nutrients in the heated foods are damaged by the heat. For every nutrient that becomes more bioavailable due to the cooking process, countless other nutrients become less so. We don't know for certain, however, that even the ones that become more available are doing us any favors once altered by heat. More important, this viewpoint assumes that the more of a nutrient is better. Instead of trusting that nature has provided the perfect balance of nutrients we need for optimal health in the fresh, raw plant foods we need. Now here's a fun idea to consider. I'm not about you, but I was raised to be very frightened Jew. And then I kind of look at things. I was raised to look at things from a lack perspective. And so raised like that, when I first considered the low-fat, whole-food, plant-based diet, my first thought was, oh my goodness, I might not get enough nutrients. And here's the irony. In nature, animals don't eat like they're at the buffet. When they find a carrot patch, they eat carrots. When they find an apple orchard, they eat apples. And they will be guided by the availability of naturally occurring foodstuffs throughout the year, and by scent and their hunger their cravings in harmony with the scent of what's ripe in the moment will guide their journeys, because most frugivorous and herbivorous animals are migratory, and they'll just follow the ripening foodstuffs. And guess what? Their needs are met. In the wild, you don't see elephants starving to death of vitamin deficiencies. You see them being killed by men with guns, but that's not a nutritional dilemma. That's an ethical one. Okay, now that's all the nutrition beating you're going to get this morning. Now let's work out. Now guys, I want to remind you, if this is your first time tuning in, that below this video, about 3 inches below the screen, there's a button that reads Show More. When you click that, it'll reveal a list of links as long as my arm. Those links will answer all your questions. They'll answer your questions about beverages, about food, about warming up, about exercising. They'll show you how to exercise, how to find easier exercises, or how to find more challenging exercises. You'll also find videos about how to sit comfortably, how to count your creases, how to meditate, what becoming a Buddha really is, and how to quickly become the happy camper that you were born to be. So if these exercises are too challenging or too easy, or they raise questions in your mind, use the links that have already been provided. In fact, my last video went into great detail about easier and more challenging versions of each of these exercises. Having said that, let's work out. And of course today we're going to be working out under the watchful gaze of the feline coach known as Basement Cat. This infernal lord happens to be a fitness guru and an obsessive bather. Whoops, my glasses are still on. Okay, my friends, let's warm up by performing 2 repetitions of Indian Inspire 12-phase sun salutations. Great, now we've broken the sweat, warmed up. Let's perform 5 circuits of 5 exercises. First, heel squats. First toe. Now it's time for a pressing exercise. Now it's time to thrust. Of course, that reminds me from a joke from my court, where particularly the lascivious attorney referred to him as himself by the pseudonym Lance Thrustgood. Do it out of breath. You're not pushing yourself hard enough. First set of chins. Oh. Second circuit. Second heel. Second toe. Second press. Second thrust. Second chin. Welcome to the third circuit. Third heel. Third toe. Third press. Third thrust. third chin. Welcome to the fourth circuit. Fourth heel. Fourth toe. Fourth press. Woo-hoo. Very exciting. Fourth thrust. I love that you can get a six-pack without doing any sit-ups. Fourth chin. Welcome to the sixth and final circuit. Fifth, did I say sixth? I'm at fifth, sorry kids. Fifth and final circuit. Fifth heel. Fifth toe. Fifth press. There are many pressing exercises to choose from. Select one that suits your confidence and fitness level. Or I should say today's confidence and fitness level. Wow! Okay. Fifth set of thrusts. Fifth final set of chins. I'm going to take a moment to move the blanket. Be right back. Gotta fetch some medicine. Well, that was disgusting. Okay. Well, I've cut my head off. Very creative. That's right, it's the Llama of Sleepy Hollow. Woof. Yeah, check my notes real quick. Do you bear with me? Okay. Our last meditation was the union of Metta and Vipassana. Before that, the emphasis was on the union of compassion and love. Today's guided meditation will have a lot of review. So if this is your first time watching, remember one of the first links below the video will take you to a page in which you can find all the Enlightened Fitness videos organized first by length of workout and then by length of meditation. So let's start off with a 3-minute guided meditation and then build up. That way you won't have any confusion or false assumptions. Today's meditation fits under the heading of the Lamrim tradition that's popular in Tibet, Mongolia, Tibet, Nepal, and Bhutan. The first 4 sets of exercises would fit under the heading of centering. But they have many, many peripheral benefits as well. Our first set of exercises would fit under the Chog Chen category of channels, winds, and draws. And it's the Buddhist version of alternate nostril breathing. Left hand palm up in lap, right hand palm up in left. Thumbs do not touch each other. In through left, out through right. In through right, out through left. In through both, out through both. Remember, there are separate tutorials on sitting and on finger counting. We now switch to the one-syllable paradigm. Left, right. Right, left. Both, both. Returning to the three-syllable paradigm, noticing, relaxing. And now the one-syllable paradigm, this ease. We're now going to play with a silent, concise version of the Po Wa training, and also a gentle version of the Po Wa training. It helps one to reverse. Let's try that again. Rehearse one's transferences of consciousness that at the end of one's life. One thing is certain, and that's death. Its causes and its time may not be certain, but its eventuality is. In the Mahayana and Tantric paths, we choose to be motivated by love, universal love for all living beings. So we begin with the loving intention. Give to each great rebirth. And now we turn our attention to ourselves. Great rebirth, out through crown. And we simplify it just to energy work, where crown Om, releasing. and we reduce it to its one-syllable paradigm. Om free. Although intention is fine and dandy, the most important part is release. For if we enter death through fear or aggression, it, like life, will not treat us well. The greatest power is in softness. Om free. Liquid water is soft, yet it can erode mountains. Throw a diamond in a mountain, it'll just bounce off. But the softness of liquid water washes it into the sea. So don't be afraid to choose gentleness. Noticing, relaxing. This ease. YouTube can be a great tool of continuing education. I rely on not one but two different YouTube channels to learn little tidbits about chemistry. And whether they're explaining to me ionic bonding, whether they're explaining to me how acids function on a deep atomic level, there seems to be this urge, for want of a better word, for pair bonding. Atoms are looking for their partner. Molecules are looking for their partner. And molecules seem to result from atoms seeking their partner. And the drive to seek their partner causes them to move heaven and earth. And it's not because of neurosis, it's not because of idolatry, it's not because of Medicine Avenue. It's an energy thing. It's often, at least with ionic bonding, it seems to be about the population of the orbit, the valence orbit of electrons. But when there is an imbalance, it creates a dynamic situation where atoms move to have that balance reconciled. And molecules are consequently formed, and that is amazing. We see that in the animal kingdom. We see that amongst primates. We see that amongst humans. It's my desire for all who listen is that if you're in a relationship, it becomes the best, most fulfilling, most compatible relationship. If you're not in a relationship, my desire for all of you is that you find not only someone you can love, because love is easy, but something even more difficult, someone you can love who is profoundly compatible with you. Now we're going to draw our energy to our heart through a concise, gentle version of Guru Yoga. Thanks for what's releasing. Thanks, teacher. Releasing. Whether we rely on living teachers of flesh, bone, and blood and bone, or the writings of teachers, or teachers who have passed on and rely on them supernaturally, or even if we rely on Buddha's wisdom and counsel supernaturally, we're relying upon a teacher, and therefore it makes sense, and it's actually very easy to cultivate gratitude for the teacher. Where heart whom, H-U-M, releasing. One syllable version, whom free. Many teachers try to manipulate their students through fear. But it has been my example, let's try that again. It's been my experience that no one has ever accomplished the pinnacle of Buddha's accomplishments, the pinnacle of the path, the 10th level, through fear. Fear can get you 60% of the way there, not 100. And last time I checked, 60% was not a passing grade. I may be wrong, but D's are nothing to write home about. Whom free. Noticing, relaxing. This ease. Now we come to the fourth and final centering exercise this morning. Waipo head, releasing. How long breath, relax jaw. Where tongue tip, releasing. if I was a ditzy tantric teacher, I'd notice that all this talk about tongue tips and relaxing jaws sounds like an awfully good date. Why grin now? Releasing. Kitty Cat does not enjoy my humor, apparently. Noticing, relaxing. This ease. Now let's play with the contemplations of renunciation. How me not satisfy. Why turn from suffering's cause? How karma be quite just. How this chance be precious. Noticing, relaxing. This ease. Play with low tong lens union of compassion and love. How could each be kind mom? Why take fool as black smoke? How are all more than me? Why give wise as white light? In through nose, out through pores. Take fool smoke, give wise light. Fool wise. today's emphasis is going to be a more protracted view of the wisdom of letting go. I've said previously that the two pillars of Buddha's wisdom teachings are interdependence and impermanence, also known as causality and change, depending upon which, if you prefer words that begin with I or words that begin with C. Let's begin with a quick awareness exercise. Where feel me releasing? Remember, I told you in a previous lesson, we think in terms of a changeless, permanent, independent self, in terms of our body or our mind or our sense of self. And so periodically through exercises, we'll focus on body or mind or me and just deconstruct them in a visceral, unconscious, fun way. So, instead of saying, where am I now experiencing this sense of self, we're just going to say, where feel me releasing? Or ask, where feel me on the in-breath, and intend releasing on the out-breath. A common error in the Mahayana path is to sort of mystify the concept of self and build it up to the point where we think that if we're able to let go of the sense of self and suddenly become a Buddha, and that's pretty much setting us up for disappointment. I prefer the Theravadan translation of the phrase, not self, which doesn't concern itself with the idea of whether self exists or not, just that the present moment experience is not it. Which brings us closer to the idea of letting go of the illusion that what we're experiencing is separate or changeless. If our problems are created by other things, they can be solved by other things. If our problems are not permanent, they're temporary. And that can give us some greater sense of freedom and peace and joy. And transpersonally, love. So, I'm not a big fan of dogma. I'm not a Buddhist fundamentalist. I'm a Buddhist liberal. And so instead of talking about probability, I talk about possibility, for certitude is most certainly a trap. But when we look around at the natural world around us, we see that things affect other things, sometimes quickly, sometimes not so quickly, sometimes directly, sometimes indirectly, sometimes actually, sometimes potentially. We can see that everything seems to affect everything else. What's affected? Causes are affected, components are affected, conditions are affected, and awareness is affected. So when we look at our great interconnected universe, we simplify it by asking the question. Well, we could use the question, what are some of those ways this very complex universe could be profoundly interconnected? That's a whole lot of words. So instead we just ask the question, how am I dependent? Remember, these are rhetorical. We don't answer them. We let our viscera do that for us. How am I dependent? can now ask the rhetorical questions. How could I always change? How could I not be me? This doesn't make a lot of sense, but we're not appealing to our intellect, we're appealing to our viscera. And we're just trying to loosen our grasp on the illusion of self. How could I not be me? How could I not be mine? How could I not be grasped? In other words, how could I defy grasping? And we don't always have to do this metaphysically. We do not always have to use these wisdom practices to deconstruct our sense of body, mind, or self. We can also use it to deconstruct any suffering or injury, whether it be anger, rage, whether it be rage, fear, sorrow, pain, or illness, or anything else you can shake a stick at. Why could I let me go? Why would I let me go? When will I let me go? Now let's revisit our old friend, Vipassana's union of awareness and letting go. What's seeing really seeing? Of course, since we're doing a Law Marim flavor, we could substitute the term Vipassana with the term Dzogchen or Mahamudra. It really doesn't matter. What's seeing really seeing? What hearing really seeing? What feeling releasing? how could me be funny? Or how could I be funny? This is the contemplative equivalent of wearing a banana cream pie on one's face. Grin with lips, releasing. Noticing, relaxing. This ease. This completes our treatment of the Mahayana. I think it could be great, of the Lamrim. It could be great fun if for the next 6 minutes or so, we, instead of working with Metta and Vipassana, we made a subtle difference of working with Karuna and Mahamudra. The Karuna, that is the union of compassion and love. Sanskrit word. How could each be kind mom? Why take fear as black smoke? How are all more than me? Why give peace as white light? In through nose, out through pores. Take fear smoke, give peace light. Fear, peace. And now let's play with the Mahamudra of awareness and letting go. What's seeing, releasing. What hearing, releasing. What feeling, releasing. How could this be funny? Noticing, relaxing. This free. That concludes this morning's 30-minute guided meditation. Now, I did a lot of jibber-jabbering, so it probably was longer than 30 minutes. But if you rewind this video, sit there with a pen and a steno pad and jot down just the contemplative notation, then give it a run through. It should take you no more than 30 minutes. Remember, folks, you only need to work out once or twice a day, meditate twice a day, definitely, and you'll get profound results. If you eat right, if you treat your body right through diet and exercise, and you treat your heart and mind right through these contemplations, you will rapidly evolve and rapidly become the person your dog already thinks you are. I now invite you to join me for a gentle set of geriatric yoga we call Untying the Heart's Knots. Look at that. Basement cat is knocked out cold. It's been a hard night of chasing leaves and eating lizards. But someone's got to do it. Please sit erect. Please place your hands behind your tush. Please open your chest and twist to the left. Why give wise? Releasing. Please reverse. Now to each give wisdom. Back to center. Release the hands. Lace them in the lap, swing them out and overhead. Please bend to the left. Like a piece, releasing. Back to center. You may ask why we say, why give peace, releasing, instead of why give peace as white light. The answer is, in that position, it would prove the central channels are hindered from performing the type of yoga we did during Tonglen's union of compassion and love. So the bending's useful, but it inhibits certain types of mental yogas. Let's continue. And to the right. Now to each give great peace. Back to the center. Let's put our hands down for a moment and then ponder something. You can meditate with your eyes closed, and you can meditate with your eyes open. For instance, if you're doing walking meditation on a busy street, you probably want to keep your eyes open unless you make friends with the front of a truck. But even if you're sitting meditation, you can open your eyes. One of the most, a very effective thing we can do is sit for a certain period of time with our eyes closed, and then continue with our contemplations with our eyes gently open. Believe it or not, that two-step process, that sequence can help us to really, really get in touch with the skeletons in our closet, really get in touch with our feelings and heighten the efficacy of our intuition. Let's continue. Let's make our way into the downward facing fetal position, which is, of course, also known as child's pose.
Give to each love for all. Please curl your hands into fists. Please place your knuckles on your yoga blanket just above your knees. Please tuck your elbows and straighten your arms briskly.
And ride the momentum into the seated samurai position, which is also known as lion's pose. Please place your hands behind your tush, open your chest, drop your head, roll your gaze up. What seeing, releasing. What hearing, releasing. What feeling, releasing. Please release your hands. Please cup your palms. Press your hands together so the center of each palm is hovering above the upper third of your chest. Please adjust your posture and relax your shoulder down. Please use your hands to press and twist to the left. While I give joy, releasing. Back to center. Relax the shoulders down. Press with the hands. Twist to the right. Now to each give great joy. Let's make our way into our hands and knees position in preparation for Cat-Cow Asana. Open mouth, slack jaw. Now to each give comfort. Please stand up. Please place your weight on the major minor ball of each foot behind your big and little toe. Please lift your heels off the ground. Please place a subtle bend in your knees and thrust your hips forward. Please lace your hands behind your tuchus, also known as your tush, as gluteus maximus. Hi. Please roll your head. Please lower your head, yet roll your eyes up. How could this be funny? Grin with cheeks releasing. Noticing, relaxing. Please release your hands. Please join me for 3 verbal recitations which are found at the conclusion of every lesson within the free PDF entitled First Set of Lesson Texts. You can download from the class materials page by using the links below the video. Please join me in 2 repetitions of Indian-inspired 12-phase sun salutation. By this virtue may I now accomplish the spontaneous, habitual, easy, and effective mastery of Buddha's mental yogas, of wisdom, peace, love, and joy, and now in every living being, without exception to this room. May everyone be healthy, wealthy, and happy. May everyone practice skillfully and joyfully. everyone accomplish amazing in this life. And then help many others do likewise. For truly that is the meaning of life. Om Mani Padme Hum. Gesundheit, kitty. Let's conclude with 2 repetitions of Vietnamese-inspired bows. May I always be cared for throughout all my lives by the Buddha of compassion, emanating as my kind teacher. And as such may I always enthusiastically and joyfully tread this excellent path praised by the conquerors. Now, today's exploration of awareness of Buddha's wisdom of letting go might have left you in the dust or with more questions than answers. If that's the case, I recommend you find the link below the video. It will take you to the 52 lessons. Each lesson has numerous videos. The information in the videos of the first and second lesson should answer all your questions inspired by today's lesson. I thank you for your time, your kind attention, your support, and your enthusiasm to evolve and be your best. May you and yours be healthy and happy. Om Mani Padme. Before we go, I wish to remind you to click the subscribe button, as well as the like button and the share button. In the upper right hand corner there's a YouTube icon. If you click that, it'll take you to your home page. Towards the bottom left hand corner of the page, you may have to scroll down. There'll be a tab that reads Manage Subscriptions. When you click that, you can look up either Lama Jigme, or you can look up Tantric Sex God 1. And to the right there's a box. If you check that, you'll be able to receive an email the next time I upload a video. Now, while we're on the subject of links below the video, you could use one of those links to help keep this monk fed, which is quite lovely, but not mandatory. Even if you can't afford to support me, I implore you to use these tapes of videos, apply the techniques, evolve, become a happy camper. It's very important. There's another link that you could use to register for the next series of weekly webinars. When do they begin? Monday, the 6th of May. That's coming right up, isn't it? I'll see you then. Bye-bye.